Dr. Sarala. Welcome to Millet Magic. Today we are taking you on a flavorful culinary journey to God's own country, Kerala, as we explore the authentic and mouth-watering recipe for appam, which we will be making using millets. If you have never eaten the South Indian delicacy before, appam can be described as a fusion of a soft idli in the center with the edges of a crisp dosa. So let's quickly dive in and learn how to create this Kerala Style Millet Appam, which will serve as a perfect, wholesome, nourishing breakfast or even as a snack. To make the appam, you will require 1 cup of millet which has been soaked for 8 hours. Here I am using Barnyard Millet. You can use any of the 5 positive millets. Use just enough water for the millets to get submerged. For this recipe, we do not want too much water. You will also need half a cup of grated fresh coconut. The authentic recipe for appam uses freshly collected toddy, but since that is very difficult to get, we will instead be using water from a fresh coconut. You require 1/3 cup of fresh coconut water, and to initiate the fermentation in this water, we require 1 teaspoon of honey. To begin, add this teaspoon of honey into the coconut water and give it a nice mix. Set it aside for 8 hours while the millets are soaking for the same duration. So if you're planning to make appam for breakfast, you need to soak the millets and prepare the coconut water the previous afternoon itself. After 8 hours of soaking, transfer the millets into a mixie jar and grind it into a smooth batter using as little water as possible. Now take out 1 ladleful of this batter and transfer it into a thick bottomed vessel. Using half cup of water, clean out all the batter which is stuck to the mixie jar and add this too into the vessel. Now on a low flame, heat the vessel with continuous stirring. The batter will gradually thicken to become a thick paste. This step is essential as the thickened cooked batter helps to give softness to the appam. Now add the thickened and cooked batter into the mixie jar along with half a cup of grated fresh coconut. Now blend them together into a smooth paste. Now add in this paste into the previously ground batter. Mix them well together. And into the batter now goes in the fermented coconut water which we are using as a substitute for toddy. Note here that we have not utilized any kind of dal to make the batter. In this recipe, we are using coconut water instead for the fermentation process, which makes this dish an ideal one for those who are required to consume minimum protein in their diet. For example, kidney patients, patients having gout, high uric acid levels and severe gastritis. Now set aside the appam batter in a warm place overnight. Next day morning, you will see that the batter has fermented well and risen. You should be able to see several air bubbles in the batter, which is an indication of good fermentation. Now add in salt to taste and the appam batter is ready. By the way, do subscribe to our channel to join us on our journey where we explore different dishes from different cuisines and recreate them using millets. Hit the bell icon to ensure that you don't miss out on any delicious millet recipe. Let us know in the comment section below where you would like us to take you next and which dish you would like us to create a millet version of, and we will try to do our best to present it to you. Coming back to the recipe, let us quickly look at the ingredients required to make vegetable stew, which is the best combination with appam. You will need 2 small onions cut into thin long slices, half a cup of fresh green peas, 1 big carrot cut into thin slices, 1 big potato cut into thin slices, around 15 to 20 green beans cut into small pieces, and around 4 green chilies. To add flavor to the stew, we use the following whole spices: 1 teaspoon of peppercorns, 3 to 4 cloves, 1 teaspoon of jeera, 1 inch of cinnamon, 3 to 4 elaichi, 2 bay leaves, and half a teaspoon of mustard seeds. And you will require half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. Coconut milk forms the base of the stew. You will require 2 full cups of coconut milk. To make the coconut milk, take freshly grated coconut, grind it in a mixer, and using a cotton cloth, squeeze out all the milk you can. What you have now is called the first milk and will be much thicker in consistency. Repeat the process of squeezing out the milk, and what you have now is the second milk. This will be slightly thinner in nature. Repeat the process for a third time to get the third milk, which is quite watery. To see the complete process, please refer to our video on how to extract coconut milk at home. The link to this video can be found in the description box below and also by clicking on the I button. For this recipe, I am using 1 cup of the first milk to give thickness to the stew, and also 1 cup of the third milk for boiling the vegetables. And when it comes to the cooking oil, Kerala cuisine is usually made using coconut oil, and we'll be doing the same today. To make the stew, we'll begin with boiling the vegetables. Heat 1 cup of water in a vessel, and once the water comes to a boil, add in the chopped beans. After 2 minutes, add in the fresh green peas. After another 2 minutes, add in the finely chopped carrots and the potato. We're adding in the vegetables one after another depending on the duration they require to cook well. Once all the veggies are in the pot, it's time to add in the third milk of coconut. The third milk extracted, being thin and watery, does not split even on being boiled. If you use thicker milk at this stage, it will surely split and spoil your dish. Using the third milk to boil the vegetables instead of using only water adds a lot of flavor to the dish. Now allow to boil for a good 8 to 10 minutes until all the vegetables are soft and cooked well. Meanwhile, in a kadai, heat about 3 to 4 tablespoons of coconut oil. Once the oil is hot, add in the mustard seeds and allow them to splutter. Next, add in all the whole spices and saute for half a minute. Next to go in are the thin slices of onion. Quickly add in half a teaspoon of turmeric. Turmeric, being rich in curcumin, acts as an antioxidant and helps to remove the free radicals generated when oil is heated. Then add in the green chilies. You can either just slit the green chilies in half, or if you prefer your stew to be slightly spicy, you can coarsely grind the chilies and add the paste in. Then add in the cooked vegetables along with the milk and water. Then add in salt to taste and allow the vegetables to simmer with the onions for 3 to 4 minutes so that all the flavors get incorporated together. Now at the final stage, add in the thick first milk of coconut. Make sure to turn down the flame to sim and to be constantly stirring so that the milk does not split. Wait until you can see the stew just begin to boil before turning off the flame. The final touch which gives a punch of the Kerala flavor to the stew is to heat and add in 1.5 teaspoon of coconut oil. Now that the mouth-watering vegetable stew is ready, it's time to make hot appams. And now to make the appam, we need to heat the appam pan. The appam pan is similar to a kadai in shape. First smear some oil on all sides of the appam pan, and once the pan is hot, add in a ladle full of the batter. Now quickly lift the pan and swirl it around in a circular motion. A layer of the batter will spread along the sides of the pan, and this will form the crisp dosa-like part of the appam. While the batter collected at the bottom of the pan forms the fluffy, soft idli-like part of the appam. Cover with a lid and allow to cook for about a minute on medium flame. The lid is essential so that the thick part cooks well. You may then gently shift the pan to all sides so that the appam is cooked evenly even in the edges. Once you see that the edges are turning golden brown, with the help of a knife, loosen all the edges. If your appam pan is very well seasoned, the edges may begin to separate on their own. Lift the appam from the pan and it is now ready to be served hot. And there you have it, Kerala Style Millet Appam. The appam tastes best when you pour the stew over it. The soft and fluffy center of the appam is like a sponge and absorbs the stew with all its flavors. And when you eat the stew-soaked appam, it's a delight to the taste buds. Fun fact, appam is a very popular dish in Sri Lanka as well. A special thanks to Pushpatte for introducing us to the delightful recipe of appam. Do try out this recipe to enjoy the traditional flavors of Kerala and the goodness of millets. We'll be back soon with another interesting millet recipe. Until then, happy cooking!